Hello. So the chapter summary assignment for chapter 8 goes as follows. So the first definition that I would like to cover is obviously of Title IX, which is defined as the Title IX was enacted in 1964. It is the framework which enforces the schools and employees to honor the civil rights of minorities, students, and employees. Now, the good thing about Title IX is that it prohibits programs that receive federal funding from excluding individuals by participating in the programs or denying individual access to the benefits of that programs that might they provide. Now, the second definition that I found important in this chapter was the equal opportunity, which is defined in the textbook as a standard set out in the regulations that enforce the Title IX. It refers to the responsibility of a program to provide equivalent athletic opportunities to honor both the sexes. Now, the best example of this can be given as the schools now enforcing female participation by increasing the female sports excuse me, by increasing the female sports. And even if you see, if you go through the websites, especially in Big Ten, I have noticed that if you go through the websites, the number of sports that are available for females is more than those available to males, which is a really big step for, by Title IX to enhance their impact and make sure that it is taken care of properly. Third definition will be policy interpretation. This is defined as the interpretation provided by the Department of Education in 1979, setting forth ways in which a school can assess whether it complies with the Title IX and the regulations implementing Title IX. Now, this definition is pretty self explanatory, where it applies specifically to athletics but also equally to high school, club level, as well as intramural athletic programs. Interpretation is basically it makes sure the Title IX is running smoothly without any glitches in schools. Now, it is comprised of three parts. The first part includes the part one deals with the financial assistance. Part two deals with equality in other program areas provided in the regulations, and part three deals with the effective accommodation of the interests and abilities of both the sexes. Fourth definition would be contact sport exception. This argues that contact sports like football should not be taken into account in regard to a school's compliance with Title IX. Courts have consistently held that there is no such exception from this statute, although now the one of the main reason why football in particular is selected in this specific case is because football was the center of the topic, because the size of its roster, obviously number of scholarships that are available to football teams is considerably more than any other sport. Also, the revenue that football brings in with its massive fans and bowl games cannot be compared to other sports, which is quite obvious. Last but not the least, and this is a very sensitive topic, sexual harassment, and this has been in news lately. If you guys have been following the latest incident where the Michigan University faced the similar consequences. Sexual harassment is defined as the unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature. This conduct is a form of sexual discrimination that is prohibited under Title IX. Now, many athletes, especially female athletes, have been a victim of sexual harassment by their coaches or medical staff, by making them feel uncomfortable or even raping them in some cases. This is a very disturbing scenario if you consider it, because this not only is a wrong thing to do, but it can jeopardize an athlete's career, especially a female athlete's career, as seeing cases like this, even if there's a high school female athlete who wants to pursue gymnastics, for instance, as her sport that she can do well in, seeing news of these kinds, it just doesn't help them out. Like, they know these things might happen and they might be a victim of it as well. So by getting scared of this stuff, they might just neglect their dreams or careers, and this is how they end up jeopardizing them.